You guys ready to go? All right, it's great to be with you guys today. I am here with the FRA Administrator, David Fink, and also the Amtrak Interim President, Herman. We're all going to speak to you, and we're happy to take your questions after. Before we get started, I just want to say I had a chance to look at the museum that's attached to the train station today. If you haven't gone to see it, it's actually really awesome. It was a great but very quick tour. I mean, the fact that you have one of the first printed copies of the Declaration of Independence housed here is so cool. So whether you yourself or you have kids, to go and maybe celebrate our 250th birthday by looking at some of the history that you have in your community itself is awesome and a great opportunity. So I want to thank you all for having me. And I want to thank you for joining me here at what is probably one of the most beautiful train stations that I've been to. This is epic, what you have in Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Union Terminal. Now, as many of you know, this opened in 1933, and it's got obviously a rich history of Art Deco. It's a completely gorgeous building. But the history here, I mean, you welcomed home our boys after World War II. At its peak, this terminal had 17,000 passengers and 216 trains pass through it each and every day. It was maybe a little busier than we see it is today. But this is one of the last great train stations that was ever built in America. So it's fitting for us to be here today to announce the next steps in the Trump administration's agenda to usher in the golden age of rail in America. So today, I'm announcing a $5 billion, not million, $5 billion investment into America's rail system. That's money that's going to go into three very distinct buckets. So bucket number one, we're going to close over 30 grade crossings and upgrade over 1,000 with new infrastructure and technology. Now, grade crossings, those are the intersections where roads cross railroad tracks at grade. It's the second leading cause of death in the rail industry. So nationally, there are more than 2,000 accidents a year and 200 deaths a year at these at-grade rail crossings. So this announcement is actually going to save lives. Second, we're going to purchase 43 made-in-America train sets to replace Amtrak's aging train sets that are under use today. And third, we're going to overhaul 41 locomotives currently serving Amtrak's Midwest and Pacific routes. So that's 43 projects from Alaska to Florida, from Maine to Texas. It's a huge undertaking, big projects, but a massive investment. So the bottom line, we're putting dollars behind new trains and new tracks to improve transportation and make America and its rail safer, smoother, and world-class. So I just want to talk about where this money came from. So I announced $5 billion. $2 billion of these dollars actually are coming from an investment that the last administration made in high-speed rail in California. Now, I want to see America have high-speed rail. I want us to invest in high-speed rail. Europe has it, Asia has it, America should have it. But the California project was never going to be built. The original projection was that this project was going to cost $33 billion. Well, the current projections are that it's going to cost over $230 billion. $200 billion over budget. Over a decade, not one rail track has been laid. And so we pulled that money back, and now we're able to redeploy it into great projects that will drive safety, innovation, and a better experience for the American people. But again, California and its rail was never going to be built. So let's build projects that we can actually deliver for by way of the American people. President Trump and I want to see big, beautiful things built in this country, like the ones we're funding today and like the place that we are today. You think about our forefathers and what they built, the beauty and majesty of a place like this let's try to bring that back, that beauty and majesty, back into the infrastructure that we build in this country. So for Cincinnati specifically, one of the rail safety investments we're going to highlight is going to benefit your community. Through a $40 million grant, we will close 2 highway crossings in Fairfield and create a new bridge over a section of the Cincinnati Terminal subdivision. So these two rail crossings ranked in the top 10% most hazardous crossings nationwide. And it's these crossings that are some of the most blocked in the country. It's in the top 7% of most frequently blocked crossings as well. So not only are we going to save lives, we're going to actually help traffic move more seamlessly as cars and rail intersect. But we're changing the course here in Cincinnati. So each of the great crossings we're addressing, it was selected not based on politics, it's based on data. We're specifically targeting the high-risk areas, which means there was an accident or fatality over the last 5 years. With $5 billion, we're funding a lot of types of projects in 23 states and across the country. So in regard to trains, the president loves our rail system. That's why we repurposed more than half of these dollars and put them into Amtrak's aging infrastructure. Much of the equipment that Amtrak uses, I don't know if you've have taken the Amtrak trains. I seem to do that now more than I used to, but they're old, anywhere from 40 to 50 years old. So this investment will enhance the travel experience for millions of Americans who rely on Amtrak. Again, ride on a train that's 30 years old, ride on a brand new train, you're more apt to ride the train because it's a way better experience. The new train sets will also allow Amtrak to increase their seat availability, lowering ticket costs through the company's dynamic pricing models. And it's not just the Northeast Corridor. We're supporting short to medium distance passenger rail all across the country. These are the trains that connect cities, suburbs, and economic hubs. We're investing in Amtrak to bolster its services. We want to make it competitive and improve the rider experience. And we expect these investments to complement their ongoing efforts to reorganize the company's management structure. We think that we can look around the world and find different management structures that could complement what we do in the United States, where we can improve our service to the American people. So I have the privilege of working for President Trump. It's an honor that I have a president and a boss who is a builder, who recognizes how vital it is for us to rebuild our rail networks. The investments we're making today are going to impact this country for generations. And this isn't the first set of investments we're making. Some of you might have followed that we are going to build a brand new Penn Station in New York. We're going to overhaul Washington's Union Station. And we've launched the new Acela and the new Aero train. Again, historic investments in rail. And we're moving at the speed of Trump because the president loves America. And he wants Americans to have the very best infrastructure, bar none. People say, why can't Americans have incredible rail like Europe or Asia? I say, why not? We should have great rail in America. Our citizens, our constituents deserve that. Well, giving us great rail starts with a massive investment like you're seeing here today, this first $5 billion. And so we're happy to be in Cincinnati. I'm happy to be with FRA and Amtrak to announce this. And I appreciate the beautiful backdrop that you give us at Union Station. You're blessed in this community to have such beautiful infrastructure such as this. And as we come through your train station, it should inspire all of us. This is what we should aspire to build. Big, bold, visionary ideas in transportation, whether it's aviation, whether it's our roads and bridges, whether it's our rail, whether it's our ports. This can inspire all of us. So I want to thank you for having us. I do want to turn it over to a man who has done just yeoman's work in rail, driving safety, driving dollars into rail, passenger and freight. He's worked tirelessly. We are blessed to have him on our team. Kind of call him a killer in the best way, of the sense of calling someone a killer. David Fink.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. It's an honor to work with you and the team. Early on, the administrators spoke with the Secretary, and he gave us some advice. That advice was, you never want to follow a really great speaker. The Secretary's a really great speaker. We're not, so bear with me here today. I'm so pleased to join the Secretary in announcing the latest round of National Railroad Partnership Program grant selections. In total, 41 projects in 23 states are being awarded over $5.3 billion. We are here in the great state of Ohio, a state with more than 5,000 miles of railroad track. Dating back to the 19th century, railroading in the Buckeye State was critical to economic development. In the northern part of the state, rail provided a connection to the Great Lakes, and Cincinnati once served as a major rail hub. With 44 rails today, this extensive network connects Ohio businesses to national and global markets, helping move freight of all types. Today's announcement includes $40 million to close 2 at-grade crossings in the nearby town of Fairfield. I went there this morning. I met with the town manager, Scott Timmer, and some other staff from Fairfield. Very exciting project. I saw a school bus stopping at what is now a grade crossing, and in a few years that won't be a grade crossing. So very exciting. It's going to save lives. 17 crashes in the last 50 years, 8 fatalities, and 11 major injuries. Of major significance, over $2 billion, as the Secretary said, to procure new passenger rail rolling stock, plus another $140 million to rejuvenate locomotives serving the Midwest. The grant funding being made available supports short to medium distance passenger service nationwide. Once delivered, customers will be able to ride on clean, comfortable new cars and experience fewer delays, cancellations, and frustrations due to equipment failures and availability that currently plague the network. Improved equipment reliability and availability not only serves Amtrak and its customers, but Amtrak host railroads. FRA collaborated with Amtrak and Class I railroads over a 2-year period to determine how best to distribute funds so the railroad can provide passengers with the best possible experience and the freight carriers improve their service. And I want to be clear, FRA and USDOT are behind Amtrak 100%. As they work to further improve their passenger rail service through corporate restructuring into 3 distinct operating subsidiaries. Should Amtrak restructure, this procurement will even further benefit Amtrak travelers and service across the country through a dedicated rolling stock management component. It also exemplifies the type of investments we are making in the future of passenger rail. This administration is fully engaged in making Amtrak better, increasing transparency, accountability, and responsiveness in getting construction projects completed on time and on budget. This proposed reorganization is what is allowing us to invest over $2 billion into fleet renewal. Also included in the $5.3 billion announced today are several dozen other projects that improve safety, efficiency, and reliability of intercity passenger and freight railroad across America. Other mutual wins for freight and passenger service include nearly $41 million to eliminate a persistent bottleneck affecting freight and intercity passenger trains in Montana along Burlington Northern Santa Fe's Northern Transcom. There's nearly $40 million to alleviate maintenance and congestion delays by making track improvements, including the replacement of approximately 31 miles of end-of-life track in South Carolina on CSX. Another grant for nearly $300 million to improve safety, reliability, and system and service performance of both intercity passenger and freight rail along the North Carolina Railroad Company Piedmont corridor. With 2025 was the safest year in history of the railroad industry. Except for grade crossings, there's still a vexing problem, accounting for too many deaths and injuries. There's another $385 million for 7 grade separations in Texas along Amtrak's Sunset Limited long-distance route hosted by Union Pacific Railroad, improving safety and reliability by reducing rail vehicle conflicts. We are also investing $356 million to improve 910 highway rail grade crossings across Florida. This project will improve the safety and reliability for multiple intercity passenger lines and freight hosts. Finally, we are furthering safety by investing over $124 million for a project in Southern California that will provide more reliable connectivity between Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton and both the Port of San Diego and the STRACnet National Defense Rail Network. FRA reviewed 103 eligible applications, requesting a total of $11,657 million, which illustrates how popular this program is. To all other recipients of NRPP funds today, we extend our congratulations, and we look forward to seeing those projects move towards fruition. From Alaska to Florida, these investments will contribute to enhanced safety, mobility, resilience, and reliability, which is good for all Americans. Thank you very much. And I'd now like to introduce the interim president of Amtrak, Bill Herman.
Thank you. What an exciting day to be here. First of all, thank you to Secretary Duffy, thank you to Administrator Fink, and all of our federal, state, and local partners for your leadership and support of passenger rail. I'm truly honored to be here today as interim president of Amtrak. I'm especially happy to be here to celebrate this investment that will benefit passengers and communities across the entire country. It's particularly fitting to make this announcement in Cincinnati, home to one of Amtrak's most iconic stations. Union Terminal is a powerful reminder of rail's legacy and the important role that passenger rail continues to play in connecting communities across Ohio and beyond. I'm an Ohio boy, so I'm particularly proud today to be here as part of this announcement. Today's announcement demonstrates the administration's commitment to delivering real transportation improvements that Americans will see and experience in many years to come. And the timing could not be any better. Demand for Amtrak is stronger than ever. Amtrak is experiencing record ridership, serving more customers than at any point in our entire 55-year history, and demonstrating that Americans want reliable, modern, and efficient transportation options. Across the country, communities are embracing passenger rail as a driver of economic growth, tourism, mobility, and connectivity. The nearly $3 billion being announced today through 7 selected grants will help Amtrak meet the growing demand and strengthen America's passenger rail network. These investments will build more train sets for the state partners in the national network, strengthen operations in our Midwest hub, and advance critical infrastructure improvements that benefit both state-supported and our national network routes. They will improve reliability, increase capacity, probably the most important of those, enhance shunt sensitivity to strengthen rail safety and operational performance, and deliver a better experience for millions of passengers. This announcement builds on an unprecedented period of transformation at Amtrak. We are advancing major station projects, modernizing critical infrastructure, and rebuilding assets that support the national network. We recently launched our next-gen Acela trains and are preparing for the rollout of the new Aero fleet. I can tell you I rode one the other day. It's beautiful, it's comfortable, you're going to want to ride it. These are all trains that are built by U.S. factories and suppliers across the country. And they will support the transformation of travel across all of the country. Thanks to today's announcement and the administration's continued support, we will be able to accelerate all of these efforts and deliver even greater benefits to passengers. Together, these investments represent the most significant modernization of Amtrak in a generation. So, on behalf of Amtrak's more than 20,000 employees, thank you for your partnership, your confidence, your investment in Amtrak's future and the future of passenger rail. We are committed to being responsible stewards of these resources and delivering results for passengers, taxpayers, and communities across the country. We look forward to continuing to work together to build the next great chapter of America's railroad. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done. So in a second we'll take your questions, but just want to make a comment about what may be a great, beautiful train station does not make great, beautiful acoustics. I could barely hear these guys as I was standing next to you. We're ricocheting all over. But with that, if you guys have any questions for any of us, we're happy to take them. Yeah.
Oh, back in the day, this place was humming. No one expects it to be that way again, but isn't there some kind of marketing you have to do to make train and rail transportation to appeal to families?
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. What's different from 1933 when it opened up and after World War II, where a lot of travel, a lot of soldiers were coming through, is we've added the interstate system, and cars now compete with trains, and our aviation has kicked off, and aviation competes with trains and vehicles. And so, yeah, listen, I'm not going to favor one of. They might want me to favor one of my modes over the other, but I think marketing train travel is for those who are in the business. My job is to make sure we have great infrastructure around trains, and we have great train sets that people want to ride on, and those are the investments that we're able to make from the department. And how we incentivize or encourage people on what mode they want to use, I have to leave it to all of you to make that pitch.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
This is Secretary, I'm James Pilcher, Local 12 News. Do these you mentioned the $2 billion coming from the California high-speed rail. Where's the other $3 billion coming from? And do the railroads or any of the state or local governments, are they putting any skinning in the game? Are there any local matches, or are any of the railroads putting any monies into this? Because most of these crossings are owned by the railroads. Thank you.
Yeah. So what's interesting is in Congress, these accidents that I talked about and the deaths that happen in members of Congress's communities, in senators' communities. And what happens then is the Congress usually will give us resources to help us mitigate the dangers of those intersections, which we're grateful for. And again, this other part is going to come from appropriations that we get from Congress to make the investments. And just sometimes, and this can be offensive to me. I'm a Republican. I served in Congress. We'll get a hard time where some will say we don't want to invest in trains or for transit. And what we want is we want to invest in. Cities don't work without transit. A lot of times they don't work without trains. But we demand that when we have a transit system, we should aspire to have a system that's as beautiful as this building. Oftentimes, not saying in Cincinnati, but other places, they'll allow crime on their systems, not protecting the people that ride, people that might not have a different choice to ride. And they're not as clean as this Union Station. We should be clean and safe places to ride when people decide to take a train or public transportation. And that's what we're trying to inspire all of our partners to do, because I think that's a minimum that the American public deserves when they get on public transportation. But if you want to take part of that, David?
So all of these grants have a minimum of a 20% match, whether that be from the local or the railroad. And our group back at FRA, which I really have to applaud, this is a really big, heavy lift for them. We've reduced our headcount at FRA by 21% because we think that's the way we want to go forward, spending less of your dollars. So they look at this, and if people have made done the grant, and you could have 30 or 40%. So the higher the other match would score them better for us to maybe want to do the project. So yes, we look at that very closely, and yes, other people have skin in the game, the towns, states, and the railroads.
One more. Did you have one?
Anyone else from the media? I don't know. No other questions? Any other questions? Going once? Do you have one down here? Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Secretary. You may have mentioned this. We talked about the audio in here, but could you describe the timeline for this rollout of the investment?
Yeah, Dave, you want to take that?
So we're announcing the winners today, and I know folks are already calling us and are very excited to get through the obligation process where we sit down and finalize all the contracts, all the permits, all of the things that need to be done so we can get shovels in the ground. The faster we can do that, the faster the crossings go away and the safer our railroad system will be. So it starts today. I think we might want to talk to Scott. He's here. They're working on this right now. I saw the plans, and they have a lot of their permits all ready to go. So this is the Fairfield project's one we really want to watch. Ohio's a great state for us to work with. The DOT and our FRA folks work together because Ohio delivers projects on time and on budget.
So just maybe for clarification, this is a great announcement. I think a lot of money that's going to come. But in this, we're going to have some fanfare around it. Maybe we didn't call the marching band, but we should maybe have one. But that's not the real magic. We have to get the grant agreements signed with all of our partners that gets the money out. We have work to do. They have work to do. We are moving so much faster at DOT because we want to see these projects go more quickly. And anyone in building infrastructure, every year you go down the road, it gets more expensive. So the faster we can move, the more we save and the more we get done with every dollar that's deployed. With that, listen, I want to thank you all for coming out. And again, thank you for being such wonderful hosts for us and giving us such a beautiful backdrop. You got to be proud of your community. Great people and a beautiful place and really cool museum. So again, on your 250th birthday, if you can't go see a different community in your own community, go see some awesome American history. Thank you. God bless.